Thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Probably like a lot of you, I've been searching for the perfect camera. And I think I found just that. Okay, so there is no perfect camera for everyone, but there is the perfect camera for me. So I'm a cinematographer by day and a YouTuber by night. I've shot for people like Adidas, Dave Matthews, the Pixies, and Google. So you would think that I'd want a real, true cinema camera. Now that might be true, but I already own one. I already own an Ursa Mini 4.6K. So I'm looking for a camera that's like my personal camera, my camera that gets me out there to shoot on my own. Now, the Ursa Mini 4.6K is an amazing camera, but look how big it is when it's rigged out for cinema or commercial use. It's just not practical to have as an everyday camera. So then you might think, what about the Blackmagic Pocket 4K? Well, this thing has shit battery life, it has no tilting screen, and a micro four thirds sensor, which kind of bums me out. I mean, you guys know that this is one of my favorite cameras, but it's just not doing it for me. So then there's the Canon EOS R, full frame sensor, really nice color space, but it's only 8-bit quality and it crops in on 4K. So what is the perfect camera then? The camera needs to check off some very specific boxes for me. First and foremost, it needs to shoot 10-bit quality or above. It needs to have the standard frame rate options, decent dynamic range. Ideally, the camera would be full frame. I would really like it to be under $2,000 given the current landscape of cameras. There's a lot of really high quality cameras out there right now that are far below $2,000. And I just feel like that's what makes sense right now. I mean, best bang for your buck. But also I want a hybrid camera, something that can take stills because I don't really want to lug around two cameras. So insert the Fujifilm XT-3. Wait. No, that's not right. The XT-3 costs $1,800, and if I start accessorizing that camera, I'm going to definitely exceed my $2,000 budget. In that case, insert the Fujifilm XT-3. I actually bought this camera the exact day the XT-3 was announced. I bought it on B&H Photo used for $1,000. It literally has nothing wrong with it, not even a scratch on the body. It was a steal. Now I know what you're thinking, Spencer, that's not a full-frame camera. And you are correct. And to combat that, I quickly looked to see if Metabones made a speed booster for the Fuji systems. And guess what? They don't. So the next alternative was the Viltrox 0.71x speed booster. Now I've used the Viltrox speed booster before on a Blackmagic Pocket 4K, and I really did not like the quality coming out of that adapter. But in this case, things changed a little bit for me. I wasn't actually looking for the perfect image. Actually, my goal here was to shoot something that felt a little bit more vintage, more like film. This was going to be my digital film camera. So I ordered the Viltrox, and it turns out it has some really fun characteristics to it. It makes the crop about a 1.1, so not exactly full frame, but really close. Also, when you pair it with a really fast lens like my 55mm f1.2, the bokeh gets pretty weird. And guess what? I like weird. So here's the deal about Fuji cameras. They just feel really awesome to use. They have these amazing tactile knobs and switches. You can quickly make adjustments without diving into the menu system, which I absolutely love. Now, it doesn't have a flip out screen like the XT4, but it does have a tilt up screen, which is actually way more useful for me. I don't actually really love flip out screens because the screen is not actually behind the lens, so your perspective gets a little shifted when you're shooting like that. The XT3 also has a really great electronic viewfinder, so I can get another point of contact to my body when shooting. Still not the most stable image because it's lacking IBS like the XT4, but either way, it works. And like I said at the beginning, I wanted a hybrid camera. I wanted a camera that I could also take stills with. I could quickly just flip of a switch, start taking stills. So I also bought the 35mm f2 for this camera, an autofocusing lens for stills. I really like that setup. It's a really light lens that I can just put on the front of the camera and just carry around with me all day. And guess what? It has built-in film simulations. So this actually is my digital film camera. And yes, the image is amazing. It has a really nice dynamic range in f-log and shoots 10-bit internally at 400 megabits per second. Granted, it's a 420 color space and not the 422 that I would like, but if I shoot that into an Atmos recorder, I can get that 422 back. As long as it's not 8-bit, I have zero complaints. Which actually brings me to the whole point of this video. This camera makes me want to get out there and shoot. You know, if a camera gets in the way of your inspiration and your creativity, it's probably not the camera for you. You want the camera to be a tool that you can use to create, to make images. If you're always just fumbling around with the camera and trying to accessorize it or hold it the right way or whatever to get the better image, then you're gonna be uninspired and not wanna shoot. Which is really helpful like in between gigs and commercials and stuff like that, because you're not always shooting stuff that you wanna shoot. That'll help motivate you to get out there and shoot something for yourself and keep learning and growing as a cinematographer. And speaking of growing and learning, let's talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online membership that offers thousands of classes for anyone looking to grow themselves and learn more about a large number of different subjects. What I really like about Skillshare is that you can explore more than one community with your membership. They of course have classes from people like Ryan Booth, the director DP from New York City, talking about how to make your video look like a movie. Which, side note, I had the opportunity to shoot with Ryan Booth a long while back, and he's a super kind and thoughtful filmmaker. This class is definitely going to be one to check out. But you can also dabble in other areas like creative writing. I'm always talking about creating cinematic images on this channel, but the reality is the story comes first. It's so important to learn all aspects of telling and crafting a story, and not just lean on the imagery. So it's awesome that Skillshare offers so many different subjects in their membership. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial of premium membership, so you can explore your creativity with Skillshare. So if you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I make a lot of videos like this going over cameras and lighting and just what it's like to be a cinematographer. And as always, I'm Spencer Sakurai. Until next time guys, see ya.